Hi, welcome to another edition of Wednesday Wisdom, where we share tips and ideas on how you too can build your brand and your revenue through the power of marketing and live events. My name is Anna Osherov, and I'm coming to you live from sunny Melbourne. Yes, spring has sprung, the sun is out, and we even have some of our freedoms, which is very, very exciting. But today I want to share something else that's exciting. I want to share with you my top 7 tips for powerful online presentations that rock. Yes, that rock. Because we know that presentation skills are some of the greatest skills that you can have. Whether you are a team leader leading a team, whether you are selling a product or a service, whether you are an entrepreneur and you're looking for investment, or you are looking to take the next step in your career journey, presentation skills are some of the most sought after skills globally. However, the world has shifted to the digital age. And so not only do we need to master our presentation skills, but we need to be able to master our digital presentation skills. And so today we're going to talk about powerful online presentations that rock. And I'm going to show you how you can go from being mediocre to being awesome. So, are you ready? Tip number 1 is to brand it. Brand everything. See, the digital environment gives us an opportunity to showcase our brand. We can brand the waiting room. So as people are jumping into our online event, there is branding there. They know who they're there to see. We can brand our slides, obviously. We can brand our background, making sure that we've got some form of branding in our backgrounds. We can brand our foregrounds for some of those that are tech savvy and have our logo somewhere in our bottom corner. We can brand our email marketing, we can brand our socials. Make sure that we're building brand recognition and brand equity so that people can recognize you, your brand and logo and colors wherever they see it, and especially in your presentations. Tip number 2 is get techie with it. The technology that we use for online presentations, from simple technology such as Zoom and Teams to some of the more complicated technology that can align with your Zoom and your Teams, there's options to use tech to engage. So use it. There's opportunities to engage via chat. There's opportunities to play music to your audience. There's an opportunity to have breakout rooms, to have polls and questions, to share forms. There's so many opportunities to use the technology to engage on a higher level. Because in the digital environment, people get bored really easy. Our attention span is nothing. So let's see how we can engage with people in the chat. Such as just pop down in the question section any questions that you might have in this presentation and I'll answer them afterwards. Something like that. Next thing is to engage with our audience. Yes, we need to engage. We need to ask them questions. We need to be able to get them to respond to us. We need to smile. We need to create a WIFM. What's in it for me? And you know how often people forget this? You see, for the last, especially few weeks, I have been watching lots and lots of presentations. I was trying to count how many in my head, but it's been lots. From my students at RMIT who have been doing their presentations, to my students in my niche industry influencer program who are getting ready to do their keynotes in our upcoming summit. I have watched many online digital presentations, and this is literally the tips that I've pulled together. And engaging with our audience and creating a WIFM is one of the top missed things. So remember, how do you like to be spoken to? Make sure that you speak to your audience in the same way. Tip number 4 is being human. We kind of forget that on the other side, there are people. We tend to be in our own little space in the digital environment, and we tend to forget that we're human beings. And we need to communicate on a human level. So that means that if you're sharing stories, remember the story and share the story. If you are sharing, bad news, then share that news in a way that is human, not monotone, human. Remember to smile. Remember to really connect. It is a two-way conversation. Tip number 5 is great. Don't read. See, when we're presenting in a digital environment, we have our slides right in front of our faces most of the time. And it's so tempting to read straight off the slides. Unfortunately, when we're reading from the slides, people can see it. It looks like we are reading directly from the slides. Not only that, we start to go monotone. We forget about the fact that we need to engage with our audience, and we just read the slides. Reading the slides makes you redundant. People can read much faster than you are able to recite. So by the time you've read your slide, your audience has already read everything that's on it and moved on. So reading your slides makes you redundant. Don't do it. Pop down some really top level information on your slides and then talk about them. Talk to the slides. Don't read directly from the slides. Tip number 6 is one of my favorites. Stop the narration. I don't know why we find it tempting to tell people what's going wrong. I don't know how many times you've heard in a presentation things like, where's that screen gone? Or, hang on, I just need to find the screen share. Or, I've lost the chat. Don't narrate the problems. If you are struggling with the technology on your end, your audience does not need to know about it. So try and distract your audience from whatever issues might be happening, i.e. ask them a question and ask them to answer in the chat. So, we might be like, what is the number one thing that you've learned over the last session? Please pop that in the chat for me. As they're doing that, you can start to work out your tech issues on your side and hopefully get over them by the time your audience has answered. So stop narrating your issues or problems. And the final one, I think this is really important, and this is kind of a nuance, is know the statistics, know the stats and the quotes. See, I find a lot of the time presenters like to put the quotes and the stats in big, bold writing on the slides. And yes, it is really impactful and you should do that on some slides, but also have a bank of really great stats, of really great quotes that you are able to share with your audience. It makes you sound like you are engaged, that you're interested in your topic, that you know what you are talking about. Not everything needs to be displayed on your slide. Some things are really good to keep in your bank of tools. Like I was doing some research for this particular video and I read that 70% of American employers prefer to employ people who have great presentation skills. Presentation skills are one of the top sought after skill sets when people are looking to engage a new employee. See, things like that are really good to keep in your bank of ideas, quotes, and thoughts rather than necessarily display everything on your slides. So there you have it. Today's 7 tips for powerful online presentations that rock. Brand it. Get techy with it. Engage with your audience. Be human. Don't read. Stop narration of your problems. And know the stats. Thanks so much for tuning into another Wednesday Wisdom. I really love sharing tips and ideas on how you too can build your brand and your business through the power of marketing and live events. If you do have any questions, please just pop them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, as always, you were born to influence your industry.